Welcome. Welcome to part 6 of the 6-part training series. Today we're going to be talking about overcoming objections, and specifically the I want to think about it objection, what to do when you get this. I'm Nikki Rausch, your sales maven. Entrepreneurs and businesses hire me to learn how to sell in an authentic way so that you're able to close more deals, ultimately build strong relationships, and grow and have a thriving business. I am very excited to bring you part 6 of the 6-part series. If you're wondering where parts 1 through 5 are, you can find those by going to yoursalesmaven.com/free and registering. You'll also be taken then to the link to download the worksheet. There's a worksheet that goes with each part. This is the worksheet for today's training. You'll recognize it. It's got a little circle here on it. They all look very similar, but this is today's. So if you haven't gotten this yet, you can pause this if you're not watching it live and go to yoursalesmaven.com/free to download your worksheet. Okay, at the end, I'll open it up to questions. So if you have questions as I am going through the content and going through the worksheet this morning, please post them and I will address those at the end. And until then, we're going to dive into some content. So thank you so much for being here. We are going to talk about the focus. So the focus is all about how to prepare you on how to handle that common objection, the I want to think about it objection. So this comes in the close piece of the selling staircase. I've been talking about the selling staircase. This is my framework. When you are in conversation with a prospective client, you are on the staircase and it's your job to move them from step to step to step. So we have gone through all of the steps up to the close, and now we've gotten an objection from a prospective client. So once you've invited, this is the first fill in the blank there for you on the spreadsheet or on the worksheet. Once you've invited a prospect to work with you and they've said, I need to think about it, I want you to check to be sure you've covered everything that they need in order for them to have that time to think about it. So check in with them and say, now, is there any additional information that I might provide to you that would be useful for you to have so that you can make a really good decision for yourself? I also want to say tread carefully here. When somebody says, I want to think about it, your job is not to go into convince mode. If you go into convince mode, you will often convince people to not hire you. Nobody likes to be forced into working with you. Nobody wants to feel like you're going to keep selling or you're going to give them the hard sales push. If they really do need time to think about it, please be very respectful in those moments. And I've given you some circle back language. So here's what I want you to say when somebody says, I want to think about it, and you've already checked to be sure that you've given them any additional information that they might need. They've said, nope, that's good, I'm good, I just want to think about it. Here's what I want you to say next. I want you to say, yes, please do take the time that you need to think about it. About how much time do you think you'll need? Pause, wait, see what they say. And then you're going to say, let's go ahead and get a circle back call scheduled now. This way, we can discuss any additional questions that have come to mind, and we'll decide at that point, we're either working together or not. Or I have on the language here, we'll come up and we'll decide at the best point, or we'll decide about best next steps for us. Then you're going to suggest a day and time, and you're going to get it on their calendar. So when somebody says, I want to think about it, you don't just say, great, let me know. As a matter of fact, I think I said in one of the trainings, if your response to things are let me know, we need to change that in your language because people will never let you know. Get a circle back call scheduled. That way, when you call them, they're ready to answer. So anytime you get the I want to think about it, offer the circle back call. Now, not everybody is going to take the circle back call. They're not going to schedule it with you, but the people who are willing to schedule that call, that indicates that they are really going to think about it. And you've actually given them time. You've scheduled time on their calendar to think about it. It's probably going to happen 5 minutes before you get on the call with them, but they are going to really Think about it. If you just say like, hey, let me know, their intention is good, right? Their intention, of course, is to let you know and think about it, but they'll get busy. They'll get bombarded with a million other things wanting their attention. So it's your job to make it easy for the client to move through the process. And that means you have to offer these circle back calls, and you need to offer them every single time. As a matter of fact, before I jumped on this call today, I did a training for an organization. And one of the things that came up at the end was somebody was saying, you know, I've heard you talk about circle back calls and I didn't do it. And now I've spent a bunch of time and energy wondering, should I follow up with that person, or should I send them an email, or should I wait? Should I give it some more time? Like, what's going to happen next? So I don't want you spending a bunch of time and energy wasted on somebody when they may not ever want to hire you. That's okay. But at least this way, if you have them scheduled for a circle back call, you're going to have a time to actually talk about it. Now, when you get on the circle back call, I want to give you a couple more things, but get it on their calendar, offer a time, and decide who's going to call who. Is this going to be a Zoom call or a phone call, or are we going to meet in person, whatever that circle back is. And then once you jump on that call, you're going to pre-frame for them again what's going to happen. Now, if you're not sure what I mean by pre-framing, I want you to go back and watch part 4 of this series. I give you some language for pre-framing in part 4, so I want you to have that. It's there for you. I don't have it on the worksheet for you, but I'll give you an example. So I might say at the beginning of a circle back call, thank you so much for taking this time to chat with me. The intention of this call is to check to see what questions have come to mind since we last spoke and what decisions that you've made about us working together. I'm pre-framing for them. I'm going to answer your questions, and we're going to make a decision at this point. People who have worked with me, my clients know I don't believe in chasing clients. I also do not believe that you can convince anybody of working with you. As soon as you go into convince mode, you have probably lost the sale. People don't want to be convinced. They want to feel like they're making a good, solid decision, and it's your job to earn their business, not convince them of hiring you. So pre-frame for them what's going to happen. Be willing then to just have a conversation. So check to see what questions have come up, address their questions, and then you're going to issue another invitation. Remember, I've been talking about all of the steps and how important it is that you issue an invitation on every step in the process. So be willing to check out these, I want to think about it. It is not a brush off. Most of the time people think, oh, that's just people's way to brush me off. And it could be, but let's act as if they legitimately need time to think about this conversation or hiring you. Give them the time and space to do that. Get your circle back call, and then go into it with the intention of working towards the next step. I did this one time with a woman. We had a really great call. She was very interested. She wanted to talk to her husband. She needed some time to think about it. So I did exact language that I gave you here. Yes, please do take some time, have a conversation with your husband, take the time to think about it, about how much time do you think you'll need. Let's go ahead and schedule a circle back call. We get on the call and I can hear it in her voice. Like, she is probably going to say no, but it's not my job to make an assumption about that. It's my job to do everything I can on that circle back call to make it easy for her to work with me. So in the circle back call, even though in my brain was screaming at me, Nikki, she's gonna say no, I still move forward with the process. And I check and see, did you have a chance to have a conversation with your husband? How did that go? What questions have come to mind since we last spoke? And she said, we talked about it and he's not opposed to it. It's just that it's a lot of money up front for us. Money's tight right now. These are some more objections that are coming up in the call. And I said, I totally understand. That makes sense. You need to make a decision that makes sense for your family and also for your business. And then I offered this. If I was able to offer you a payment plan, is that something you'd be interested in? And she said, well, I'm not really sure. And she kind of hemmed and hawed. Now notice I don't launch into, well, if it's money, we could talk about payment plans and here's my payment plans, because I'm going to check and get permission to see if she's even interested. There's no point in me wasting my breath on talking about payment plans if it's something she's not even interested in hearing about. So she kind of talked around in a circle for a little bit, and then she said, well, okay, Nikki, tell me about your payment plans. So I walk her through the payment plan. And then she says, you know what? I can tell I just need to work with you. I want to be able to do exactly what you did by getting my client on the call, walking them through this, allowing for them to have the time and the space that they need to make the decision. And then she paid me in full. So even though we talked about payment plans, she paid me in full because I was willing to check along the way and be very respectful of her along the way. I was willing to give her the time that she needed to circle back. My philosophy as far as the sales process goes is I will stay in it as long as the client stays in it with me. But as soon as they start asking me to jump through a bunch of hoops, or they start blowing off my calls or not responding to me, at that point, the ball is in their court because I don't chase clients. Again, I believe if you start chasing clients, they run away, they act like toddlers. Just like if you say to a toddler, I'm going to chase you, they run. So we want to get them coming back to us or have them go away, clear the field, leave time and space for you to work with people who are really ready to hire you. Now I'm going to open it up to questions. I'd love to see what questions you have about the circle back call today or the I want to think about it objection. So please post those for me. I will go through those here in just a second. I want to remind and invite those of you who feel like you need a little bit of a deeper dive in the sales process to please consider scheduling a strategy session with me. This is a 50-minute paid strategy session where we focus 100% on your business. You come with the challenge, and we are going to work through that in the 50 minutes. It's recorded, so you'll be able to go back and watch it later. I'm going to give you language that's tailored specifically for you in those strategy sessions. It would be my honor to work with you. So please go ahead and schedule that. And you can do that by going to yoursalesmaven.com and looking at services, and you'll see there's a place there to schedule a strategy session under services with me. All right. Let's go ahead and see what questions, if any, we have so far. Does anybody have questions about the 6-part series? I'd also love to hear any of your big takeaways from any of the 6 parts. What has been your biggest takeaway if you've participated along the whole process here with all 6 parts, or even if you've just caught 1 or 2, I'd still love to hear your biggest takeaway. So hi, Morgan. Nice to see you here. Chantal. So good to have you here, my friend. Let's see, Joanne. Hi, excited about this topic. Good, Joanne. I hope this was useful for you. This circle back call can absolutely change your business. Hi, Geraldine. Excited to have you. Laura Brodniak. So good to have you. She was just on my last training too. So I appreciate you taking the time to be here. Love this. Okay, Mona. Hi, Mona. Let's see. Joanne's asking, instead of saying about how much time do you think you'll need, could I say something like, can I call you in a few weeks to check in? Here's the difference, Joanne. When you say, can I call you in a few weeks to check in, they'll probably say, sure, but they may not need a couple weeks. And a couple weeks might be too much time for them to think about it. As a matter of fact, I think you should be scheduling your circle back calls within a week. Any more time than that, and they have been just bombarded by so many other things in that time. The other thing about, can I call you in a few weeks? They'll say sure, but you actually don't get a time scheduled on their calendar. So then when you call, they're not going to answer because you don't have a scheduled time. So as long as you're getting a scheduled time, if they really do need a couple weeks, then please honor that and give it to them. But I'm a little hesitant for that for you because I want to make sure that you're helping them move through the process. It's your job to take the lead here in the process. So we want to make it easy for them, and we want to actually challenge them to think about it. And that will happen by having time scheduled on their calendar, because then they're going to see that morning, oh, I have a call today with Joanne. I better make some decisions about hiring her or not hiring her. So something to think about. I hope that's helpful. Go ahead and post any additional comments around that in the chat here. I'd love to get your feedback about how that works for you. Thank you, Laura. I appreciate your kind words. Let's see. Geraldine says that I need to create curiosity. I tend to hide by asking the other person all the questions. This was your takeaway, I think. So we had talked about this in the curiosity part. One of the things that I had shared is if you're the person who's always asking questions, it's also a way to keep you really safe, because the person who asks the questions in a conversation holds the power. It's a way to not be vulnerable. So yes, we want you creating curiosity, Geraldine, and we want for people to be able to ask you questions so that you can actually talk about what you do. I know, because I have worked with you a little bit, how brilliant you are at what you do and the coaching that you offer to your clients. So please give them an opportunity, the people who don't know you yet, to actually dig in with you a little bit by creating some curiosity. So Morgan's saying, I got into the series late and I'm just on video 3. You do have days to finish the videos. Yes. So at this point, they're going to stay live for at least 2 more weeks. I may actually leave them up longer than that, but I want people to have the opportunity to view the content. So it's there for you, Morgan. So go through it at your pace, my friend, and get through all the videos. I think you'll find lots of great stuff in there for you. Laura's asking, do you ever find that you need a second circle back call, or does that only happen if they're not going to, if you're not doing a good job uncovering objections? I love this question. Thank you for asking this question, Laura. Yes, sometimes you will need a second circle back call for a myriad of reasons. Maybe in the time that you did schedule, like they needed to actually have a conversation. Actually, I just had this with a client this morning. She scheduled her circle back call, and when she got on it, the person said, you know, I needed to present this to my boss, but my boss has been so busy that we haven't had an opportunity to do that. It is absolutely okay to offer to schedule another call with them, another circle back call, or let's say you get on the call with them and they're not feeling well, like maybe they've come down with something. That is not the time to be going through the selling process when somebody is not feeling well and they're focused on other things. So be willing to schedule a second circle back call, or on the circle back call, maybe a new objection comes up that you hadn't uncovered before. Maybe they hadn't thought of the objection yet. And now they need some more time to check into something or find some more information about something or whatever their reason is. And yes, as long as you are offering to do another circle back call and they are saying yes, they're still in it. I actually would do circle back calls with somebody. I probably would do 3 or 4 as long as we were moving through the process and they were keeping with their commitments. If somebody's just like, hey, check in with me in a couple months, and then we schedule a time and I check in and they're like, yeah, you know, I'm probably still interested at some point. Like, if I'm getting that feel from them, I'm probably like, hey, I would love to earn your business when you're ready. So please reach out to me when I can be of service to you. Because now I'm like throwing the ball back in their court and I'm going to move on and work with clients who are much more interested or ready to move forward. And it doesn't mean that I don't want to work with that person. And when they come back later, which happens all the time, I will be thrilled and honored to work with them, as I know you would be as well. So be willing to let them kind of go away, and also be willing, as long as they're staying in the conversation and they're staying engaged with you, it's totally fine for them to do multiple circle back calls. I'm thinking about one client in particular where we had met. She ended up signing up for a workshop that I put on. She came to the workshop. She indicated at the workshop that she would like to do some more. We scheduled a time to chat. We got on that call. She was like, I'm really not ready. But you know, let's keep in touch. So I did let her know about another upcoming workshop. She came to that. It was a paid one. She came to that. And then she indicated again, she was kind of interested in doing some private one-on-one coaching with me. So I offered her a time to schedule. We got on the call. She told me then she wasn't ready, but that she was really interested and she needed to finish up a coaching program she was in. So we scheduled like a 3-month out call, and we got on the call on that one. And she's like, I'm just not ready to make a decision. I said, fine, when you're ready, please reach out to me. I'd love to work with you. And then, I don't know, it was probably at least 9 months, maybe even 12 months later, that she came back and ended up hiring me to do a VIP package with her. So again, I will stay in it with somebody as long as they stay in it with me. without chasing. So I hope that's helpful. That was a long answer to your question, Laura. I hope that's helpful. All right, Geraldine, I must have got her. That was the point. Okay, so Cindy says, I was able to make your first and last series call. Thank you, Cindy, for being here. And you're welcome for the worksheets. Appreciate you. Thanks for your kind words. Okay, Laura's asking, when you set up a circle back call, do you tell the potential client that it will be X number of minutes? And related question, how long should you book for a circle back call? Wow, you got some great questions today. Okay, so I do like to say that we'll probably be on the phone for less than 30 minutes. I would say less than versus like giving a, we're going to talk for 10 minutes, because if we're actually booking to work together, that might take a little bit of time to get through, the payment and all the stuff that you might do on that call. So I would say it will probably take less than 30 minutes. So let's schedule 30 minutes if we could. I do schedule 30 minutes on my calendar for circle back calls. I don't ever schedule more than 30 minutes because I find that most of them take, if it's a no, sometimes they take 5 minutes and sometimes they take 15 or 20, and 30, I usually can work somebody through the process and actually take payment in 30 minutes. So that's my kind of process. Figure out what works best for you, Laura, with the clients that you're working with, but I would try to keep it to 30 minutes. It's a lot of time to give in addition to what you've already spent with somebody. And again, time is money. So think about that. Okay, so Morgan's asking, what do you think about the tactic? These bonuses are only available if you commit today. I actually didn't cover that, Morgan. So thanks for asking this question. I do like something that has a sense of urgency. So if you do have a special bonus for somebody, and the way I would phrase it is, when you sign up today, you're actually eligible to receive these bonuses. So that may impact you wanting to make a decision. I just wanted to make you aware of them. And then I would wait and see what they say next. Okay. I think that is it as far as questions. Any other question or takeaway? I'll give you guys just a few seconds to post those. You're welcome, Laura. I'm glad that was helpful. Oh, such great questions today. These are fantastic. Thank you, guys. Hey, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel so you'll be updated when there's new content that goes up there. And I do put content up every once in a while with techniques and trainings. So please do that. Geraldine says she has a question. So I'm waiting, Geraldine. You have plenty of time to type out your question for me. So thanks for giving me the update that you've got a question. Morgan, you're welcome. Joanne says, takeaway, don't assume someone can't afford you. Yes, that's such a great takeaway. Thank you. Thank you for getting that one and for posting it. I think I said that in the last training. It's your job always to recommend what your client needs. It's not your job to make recommendations based on what you think they can afford. That's super important because you can send the wrong message and you can break rapport with somebody if you don't do that well. So yes, don't assume what they can afford or can't afford. Make recommendations, be the expert, recommend what you know they need, and let them tell you they can't afford it. Let them be the ones. Don't make that decision for them. Okay. All right, let's see. Paula, thank you. I'm glad they were helpful. I love that you kept an open mind. Yes, definitely keep an open mind, Joanne. I love your comment. Okay, Geraldine says, as a buyer, I don't like to be rushed. How best to treat the person who wants to buy, but just in their being, they move slow through the decision process. Yeah, respect that. Again, as long as they are staying in it with you, be willing to stay in it with them. If it takes 2 years to close that sale with them, be willing to stay in it as long as they're staying engaged with you. If you're just chasing, then I'm not a big fan of that. I will say a lot of times people will tell you, I'm somebody who likes to take my time to make a decision. Totally fine. I respect that. Also think of it as planting seeds too, right? Because Some people are going to buy from you the very first time, and others are going to take, I've had clients take 2 or 3 years. I actually have a VIP client right now who I don't remember ever meeting her in person. She can't remember if we ever met in person, but she says she's had me on her list to hire me for 3 years before she became a VIP client. Now, I didn't actually know this until she reached out to me, but in her mind, I had to do a lot of things because people have what's known as a convincer strategy. So there were things that I was doing on, like, not intentional, but she's on my newsletter. She gets my weekly sales tips. She follows me on social media, so she's paying attention to things that I'm doing there. And at some point, she was ready. So be willing to stick it out with the people who do need some time to think about it, but don't give them a bunch of your actual time. Just be respectful of their process. I hope I answered that question. Joanne, and they signed up for your most expensive program. Yes. Congratulations. This makes me so happy for you. This is back to Joanne saying, like, recommend what you know they need, not what you think they can afford. This can always make an impact for you. I think I've shared this story. I don't know if I've shared it in this series, where I actually had a client who got an email from somebody who was hesitant to keep her appointment with her. And she had a myriad of reasons all around the financial side about why she couldn't keep the appointment. She was asking my client to offer her a discount. We talked about it. We formulated the response back to her, which ultimately was that there was no discount, but in a really respectful way. The client ended up keeping her appointment, coming in and buying my client's most expensive package, something she had never sold. So yeah, be really careful about not projecting onto the other person. So I love that you've seen that success. That will continue to work for you, Joanne. You've got this now. It's yours. Let's see. Laura's asking if there are any spots available in my upcoming masterclass. Thank you for asking. The masterclass is next Thursday, December 13th in the Seattle area, and I have 1 spot left. So we're technically sold out, but I have somebody who is probably not going to be able to attend. So I have 1 spot left. If anybody would like it, please reach out to, you can find information on the masterclass on my website at yoursalesmaven.com. I teach a masterclass every quarter. It's a different topic once a quarter. So they only come around once a year. The next one, if you are wanting to attend a masterclass and cannot make the December 13th, is March 14th, and it's Body Language and the Secrets of Selling. The Secrets of Selling with Body Language, I think, is actually what it's called. So you'd be invited to attend that. It's in the Seattle area. Let's see. Cindy said, I missed your fill in the blank. At your scheduled circle back call, be sure to start the conversation with a pre-frame, is what that fill in the blank is, Cindy. So pre-framing what's going to happen. So you're going to say, thank you so much for this call. The intention is to answer any questions that have come to mind since we last spoke, and also to make some decisions about us working together. And we'll probably schedule to talk for maybe, less than 30 minutes. So, and then you jump in. So you pre-frame first in that. That's what the fill in the blank is. I love that you guys already. Chantal says, I never met you and waited over a year to hire you. That's true. And we've been working together now for a year, right? Chantal, I think a year we've been working together. And thank you for saying it's worth it. It is my honor to work with you. You're one of my favorites. Okay. Cindy says, I love the analogy of planting seeds. The gardening process takes time, and it's always put the sales process in perspective. Yes. Sales is a lot of planting seeds, Bonnie, thank you for your feedback about the training. I really appreciate that. And Cindy and Laura, I love that. I love that you guys have some great sharing on how to fill in the blanks there. So that's good. Yes. Chantal, 1 year. 1 year, I think our very first session, we did your VIP day on Thanksgiving last year, because it was Thanksgiving for me, but not you in Canada. So I will always fondly remember that. Yes. Okay. Yes, in November. All right. Cindy says, not fond of hunting analogy in sales. Me either. Me either. You will never hear me say, go hunt the big game, go hunt people. Nobody wants to be hunted. No, we want to build real connections, real relationships. We want to give our money to people who respect and honor us and who have something of value. So think about rapport first and foremost. The foundation of all of my work is around building rapport, creating that know, like, and trust factor, showing up with integrity, making things simple for people to make decisions, and taking the lead in the selling process, on the selling staircase, working through the framework, step by step by step. And you will find that the clients who do hire you will love you, they will implement, they will get results, and they will refer clients as a result of it. So, all right, I am going to give it just one more second. Not one more second, 10 more seconds. Any last comment, question about the sales training series? Again, this sales training series is going to be live for a certain period of time. If you want to go back and watch the other 5 videos again, you can access those if you haven't already registered by going to yoursalesmaven.com/free. And that will let you sign up to get access to the other videos in the series. If you've already signed up, you don't need to sign up again. You will get an email that will give you the direct link to that page where all of the training videos and all of the worksheets are housed. So know that that's there for you. Thank you, Joanne, for participating in the series. Thank you for saying great series. I love that. And Cindy, thank you. I appreciate your kind words. You are a blessing in my life as well. All right. Thank you for participating. Go out, make the sales, close the deals, build relationships. Wishing you continued success in all that you're doing. Thank you so much for being here.